So you probably know of Comica for their innovative takes on the wireless shotgun mics like the Comica VM30 and 40, but did you know they recently dropped the cheapest 32-bit float wireless lav mic on the market? And yeah, I didn't either, but it is amazing what spending 17 hours a day on Amazon can teach you. Anyways, today I want to introduce y'all to the Comica Boomax. Now, I did pick up this bad boy with my hard-earned pennies, and for once it actually did not break the bank. The only thing though that does have me a little stumped is the name, Boomax. Now, is it supposed to be spooky? Is it supposed to jump out and scare me? Because honestly, a mic at this price point should be scary, but maybe to its competitors. Now, this mic, while it clearly took some inspiration from DJI, it does have something I haven't seen other mics this size do. And if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. I'll wait. No, go ahead. I have nowhere to be. Okay, now that we've wasted both of our time, let's go ahead and get back to me. I mean the Boomax. The Boomax's special feature is dual capsules, not dual transmitters, even though there are two of those included. No, dual capsules. Here is the deal. Shotgun mics like the VM30 and VM40 actually use a cardioid pattern that rejects sound from behind to focus on what's in front of, well, the mic. Whereas lav mics, on the other hand, are usually omnidirectional, which means they pick up sound from, well, all around. So in theory, what does this mean? I guess technically this mic is literally here, so it's no longer a theory, but in a pinch, you could replace it with a boom mic and then later clip it onto your Talon, or if you're a creator and you wanted to use this on the go, so for like interviews and content creation. But of course, if you do go ahead and grab the full kit, it comes with all of the, well, usual suspects. You get your carry bag, your charging case, dual transmitters, a touchscreen receiver, magnets, dead cats, cables. You guys get the drill, especially if you've seen a wireless mic in the last like 5 years. But where does this mic really shine? So for that, we actually are going to circle back to the transmitters. Dimensionally, they are a little bit longer than the DJI Mic 2 transmitters, but they're roughly the same width and depth. Personally, I do favor a smaller footprint like the Mic Mini or the Larkin 2, but the tech to size ratio just isn't there yet. The build quality is surprisingly impressive. It's pretty hard to show on camera, but on the front, there's actually like this rubber pad grip. I don't know if you guys can even see it. It kind of gives it a premium feel, whereas like the rest of the body is of course plastic, with the exception of the metal clip on the back. Now on the front, you do have two LED indicators. The top one is the most important as it shows your power, mute, and noise cancellation status, and the bottom shows just whether or not it's recording internally. For basic controls, on one side you have two buttons, the top doubling as the power and mute, and then the bottom handles the noise cancellation and pairing. On the other side, you get, well, a recording button. Unlike the DJI Mic 2, I did realize, probably due to the price point, there is no haptic feedback, so you do have to rely on the LEDs for all confirmation. On the bottom, it is pretty standard. You have your charging pins and you have a USB-C port for charging and, well, file transfers. Back up top is where things do get interesting, at least for me. Now, like most mics in this class, you do have an optional port, so if you wanted to do like a wired lav mic, which is of course sold separately, you can do that, but it also doubles as where you put your dead cat. And then there's the dual capsules from earlier. There are two of them that are visible on the front, then there's a third that is hidden by this like little mesh grill. There's a screen behind it. It's really hard to show on camera, so I'm gonna do my best. I could make a whole separate video talking about just the receiver, but in the interest of not boring you, I'm gonna hit the basics. It is a mostly plastic body. It does have that same textured rubber grip on the top. On the bottom is a standard cold size shoe, but then on one side you have an aux out for your camera, and then next to it is a port for real-time audio monitoring, something a lot of new budget systems seem to be skipping. I don't get that. Then on the flip side, you have a power button, which also again doubles as a pairing button. And on the back, if you've guessed, there's another USB-C port for independent charging. You'd be right, because yeah, there's another USB-C port, and that's used for smartphones. Obviously, if you're a Lightning user, tough luck, like the DJI Mic 2, the Boomax does give you a touchscreen, and unless my eyeballs are playing tricks on me, I think it's actually taller than DJI's. Maybe that's a one-up that Comica's got. And while you can tweak all of the settings directly from the receiver, Comica also offers a mobile app. You can adjust any of the features on either of your preferred options, so you can adjust your mic patterns, your safety track, your gain levels, your EQ, your noise cancellation strength, and your recording bit depth. But really quick sidebar, out of the box, the DJI Mic 2 actually sets the default to 24-bit recording, whereas the Boomax, though, is 32-bit float right out of the gate. I feel like that's a really small detail, but if you're going to advertise 32-bit float audio, lead with it. Thank you for that, Comica. And for the specs, folks, each of these transmitters do pack 32 gigabytes of storage, which is good for up to 40 hours, 32-bit float recording, and a whole lot of voice. Battery life is 10 hours per transmitter, 8 hours from the receiver. The charging case gives you about 1 full recharge for everything, but you can double that and give it to the next one. Did I say that quick enough? Now, all of this sounds great for creators that are on the go, especially with the 250-meter line of sight range, but you know what I'm gonna say, the only way that we can actually get a real feel for these microphones is to go and test them in the real world and see how they perform. So enough yapping, let's go ahead and head outside and see how this mic sounds and if it can hold its own. I really hope that no one actually wants to record their videos outside in front of an air handler. However, if you do, this is kind of what it sounds like. So I'm outside of my house right now. There are birds, there are other sounds happening. It's just about to rain. So I'm trying to be really quick and strategic about this, but this is how the Comica Boomax sounds outside. So this is kind of like a baseline test, so to speak, of what it would sound like just in a normal, maybe vlogging environment. Maybe if you're in a city, there's cars driving by, whatever your environment is that is less than ideal, this is probably going to be the worst one that I can think of. So now let's go ahead and actually switch over to the noise cancellation so that you guys can see how that sounds in comparison. Okay, so now we have the noise cancellation on. I have tested this a little bit on my own, but I want your guys' opinion. I want you to let me know, what do you actually think of the noise cancellation? My personal opinion, I think it does a pretty decent job of blocking out sound, but I'm really curious to know how it's actually going to block out the air condenser or air conditioner behind me. I'm not an HVAC tech. I don't know what this is. So if you do, let me know in the comments below. But I know that this controls the AC in my house. And right now in Florida, the entire temperature is just completely whack. Like one day it's in the 70s, the next day it's in the 90s. Right now we're in hurricane season. So if you're not from Florida, essentially that is when all hell breaks loose. And that could be any day now, but for the time being, I'm recording outside in front of this AC device thing, this magical machine that makes my house cooler inside and makes it bearable to record these videos for you guys. So that's how these sound. Now, just as a frame of reference, this is how the microphone sounds using the cardioid pattern. So the microphone's about a foot from my mouth. This is what it would sound like if you were using like a boom mic or some other variation of a boom arm or a shotgun microphone. And this is supposed to eliminate a lot of the sound. It's very directional. So in theory, if I were to put the microphone like this, it should pick up my voice and it should try to block out some of the sound that's behind me. However, I don't know that it's actually going to do that, but I do want to test how the noise cancellation works because right now I'm directly pointed at the worst possible source. So now I have the noise cancellation on. So again, it is pointed at the worst possible source, this loud freaking device. And I want to know, does it actually do a decent job? Now, if it sounds even remotely clear, whether it sounds robotic, whether it sounds terrible, I just want to know, can you actually hear my voice? Does it isolate it? Or do you still hear this thing humming behind me in the background? So at this point, let me know in the comments below if it's actually made a difference or if this just sounds terrible and I should throw it out. Now, just as a fair comparison, I wanted to actually include the DJI Mic 2. I am not the biggest fan of this microphone personally. I've had a little bit of a hiccup with it. Maybe it's a learning curve, but I still bring this thing with me anytime I go out of country or if I travel to conventions. Because honestly, I needed a microphone that had internal recording in the event that there was something that would mess with my transmission, my line of sight, whatever it may be. This microphone kind of checked those boxes, but how does it sound in comparison to the Boomax? So this again is with no noise cancellation, and now we're actually going to switch to the noise cancellation. So now we have the noise cancellation on, but my knees are about to go out, so I'm gonna keep this really brief. Again, I have the Magic Maker, the AC machine behind me. That thing is working its butt off. Right now it's like 80 something degrees out. It's super humid and I'm ready to go back inside. But this is with the DJI Mic 2 with noise cancellation enabled compared to the Boomax earlier. So again, what do you guys think? Is this mic superior or is this mic just absolutely junk? Am I a critic or am I onto something and maybe some of DJI's products are a little overrated?
I could be wrong. I am starting to grow on this one, but that's not what this video is about. We're actually gonna circle back to this microphone in a couple videos. But yeah, let me know at this point, which mic are you favoring? I'm gonna go ahead and get back into the studio because this is absolutely insane.
With all of the audio testing out of the way, you've probably already decided whether or not you even want to buy the Boomax. And if you are on the fence of, you know, I really think I wanna buy it, there are a few things that I want to tell you before you make that decision. The biggest one, and this one just, it irks me. The second that I saw it, I questioned everything. I questioned my life's existence. And that is the fact that the transmitters, they do come with magnets, but they are in the bag. Like they're in the bag. And if you want to put the transmitter with the magnet on in the case, they don't fit. The case doesn't actually have a cutout for a magnet. Whereas with the DJI Mic 2, again, same thing, magnet on the back, but it fits. I don't know what Comica was thinking. And then if you do want to store them, you actually have to keep the carry bag with you. So while DJI's bag isn't a whole lot better, it's pretty bulky. This bag is kind of cheap feeling. And then you have this little vinyl tab for the magnets. Like you literally have a vinyl tab. Magnet, I don't understand it. I don't get it. That's probably like the two biggest complaints about this whole system is the fact that one, transmitter doesn't fit. So again, transmitter without the magnet fits, transmitter with the magnet doesn't fit. I don't understand that. Second one though is actually the bag itself, but that's not a bad thing because this is an insane value for your money because you're getting 32-bit audio, you're getting omnidirectional and cardioid patterns from a microphone of this caliber and this form factor. Everything is super nice, but the bag just feels cheap. And then there's like this weird, it's an orange strap and it's not like it's tiny, it's massive. And it's where you take your case, you put it in, and then you just kind of strap it shut. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with it. You do get to hold all of your other stuff. So like you get to hold your cables in there. You get to hold your dead cats in the other side. So it's kind of useful to that extent. I do like the DJI Mic Mini where you can put like your auxiliary cable and the dead cats all in the charging case. I wish that other manufacturers would take notes from DJI on that sense, even though DJI didn't realize that with their Mic 2, which I can't close. One last little nuance and I'll keep it quick, but there is no lightning cable included. So if you have an iPhone 14 or older, Comica says you can buy a cable separately, but when I was looking around, I couldn't find a lightning cable. So I didn't contact Comica. I don't feel like I have to contact Comica and see, oh, do you have a lightning cable? But if you have a USB-C phone, you have a USB-C cable, then you have a USB-A thing and you unplug it and you get a USB-C, well, on the bottom. So yeah, little nuances. I promise I'm done. All that to be said, I know that some of these things are just me nitpicking because honestly, for $189 for the full kit that you've seen in this video, Boomax offers a ton of value. Now, sure, you will need to source your own wired lapels if you do want to wear those, but even without all of the add-ons and quirks, overwhelmingly, it is a solid buy. So what do you think at this point? Did the Boomax spook you, or is Comica quietly leading the way in affordable wireless audio? Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the button, smash the bell, like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. And hey, Comica, if you are watching this, it is totally fine that you forgot to send me the Boomax to test. I'm not gonna take it personally. I'm just gonna go cry in my giant orange clip thing now. So I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.